But only 3 indicators were actually kept in the publication that we did recently in September. Why only 3? But first one, there are sample considerations. PDF, for instance, are very poor in terms of results, so it was impossible to use that from a statistical perspective. There were also confusions, clear confusions in the answers with some respondents. So what an application is, what a PDF is not also very clear. So we couldn't also publish this part. And also, we had to prevent conflicting data within the SIM as a JIC, because we couldn't have 2 internet measurements, the one coming from press survey and the one coming from a tactical internet survey. So we wanted to avoid this as well. And also, there were a lot of discussions within the technical committee as well, with on the one hand the magazines, and on the other hand the dailies. The dailies didn't want to have a paper currency anyway. They wanted to have a combined reach of paper plus digital, while the magazines, maybe more conservative, wanted to keep actually the paper. So the final selection, the winners, were actually, of course, the average issue readership of the paper versions, which is and remains the media planning currency. The second one that we have published is the paper plus digital versions. Digital versions are PDF and applications, whatever the device. This is used also in the softwares and can be used, is accepted as media planning currency, as long as, well, mostly the dailies can make sure that they offer, the commercial offer is in line with this currency. And the third one, which was big political discussions, was the total brand. The total was why political discussion? Just because we're also building a cross-media survey now, which is called the Hub survey, and normally, well, the total brand information should come from the cross-media survey and not from a press survey. But we published it, but clearly to the market as a descriptive and profiling variable, not usable for media planning. So we have been very clear on that in all communication to the market. Now, what's nice to introduce new questions and to change the questionnaire, to change maybe the most important question, which is the total readership question. What is the impact on the results? The impact on the paper audience is what you see here. This is actually the index compared with last publication for the paper. So you see that in red, the red bulk is actually the evolution of the currency, the paper currency, average issue readership. And it goes down for newspapers, for news and TV magazines, well, a little bit up due to 1 or 2 titles for women magazines and so on. And the ever red is also going down. You see that there is quite a good parallel for the 2 first one with the circulation. Now, we could ask ourselves why such a decrease for paper. Well, the reason for the decrease of paper can be found in the circulation, as we have seen. But next to this, we must admit that the efforts made in the questionnaire to correctly identify the digital readings has also pushed respondents to be more alert and to pay more attention to what they were answering. For this reason, we suspect that the previous edition of our national readership surveys reported some digital reading behaviors as paper audiences due to respondents' confusion. But there is also good news. The digital information does increase the reach. While the newspapers suffered the most from the distinction between paper and electronic formats, we also see that they benefit the most from the new currencies. They have +6% in paper plus digital version, but you see that when we add the web also, so they have an increase of 1/3 of their audience. Only special interest magazines get a significant expansion of their reach when digital is taken into account for the average issue ratio. Now, let's move up to some conclusions about this methodology and the top-line results. First, methodologically, we think that the mixed approach that the SIM Technical Committee applied is probably between the two traditional paper first and print first, maybe the best approach to capture paper audiences and not to underestimate the digital audience. With a sensible and not too sophisticated approach on format and devices, the feedback is that we made a good compromise between the two parts, between the sophistication of the questionnaire and the relevance for the interviewed person. The production of aggregated indicators seems to be more reliable than providing the market with too much details on fragmented audiences. Now, the Belgian market still hesitates. Must the currency become the paper plus digital or not? And the commercial practices of today are still primarily based on paper, so it's a question that will be answered in the future. We've seen in the top-line results that the paper audience have suffered from this. Mostly the ones we have a stronger digital deployment, such as the newspapers. But regarding magazines, the one who lost the most paper audience also generally suffered in their circulations. In all, we had, when we published this in September, it was 19th of September somewhere, we had a lot of questions, but also a lot of very good reactions. Because the market says, well, it's more precise, it's more, it's pushed some audiences down, but it's more precise, it's more, we have more confidence into these figures. Because they understand it, also the added value. You have here some quotes for Bernard Marchand, one of the top publishers in Belgium, who says, well, that finally the SIM has published coherent results, which is fine. So we are happy that those reactions are very positive. Finally, I mentioned a couple of times the SIM. I mentioned a couple of times the technical committee, which did a really great job on this new survey. And also want to have special thanks to Bernard Kohls from Space Media Agency, Yasmin and Steph from SIM. Thank you very much.